In 2025, a Nairobi High Court delivered a verdict that shocked Kenya. A United Nations employee had been convicted of murdering his own wife in a luxury resort room he had specifically chosen for its bathtub. This is the story of Nicholas Koskei and Rhoda Mumbi. Nicholas Cheruiyot Koskei was 36 years old, a logistics employee at UNICEF, originally from Trans Nzoia County. To the outside world, he was calm, charitable, a man who volunteered at his local church and coached children's football on weekends. Rhoda Mumbi Mutua was 34. Ambitious, financially independent, and a devoted mother, she had joined the United Nations as a young intern and risen through the ranks to hold a stable, high-paying career. She was the daughter of Geoffrey Muthuri, a civil servant with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and she came from Chuka in Tharaka Nithi County. The two met at the United Nations and married. They had two sons, born in 2012 and 2014. Together, they lived a comfortable middle-class life, an upscale Nairobi neighborhood, good cars, weekend getaways at luxury resorts. But behind closed doors, the marriage was fracturing. Koskei's family had never accepted Rhoda Mumbi. They opposed the union on ethnic grounds because she was Meru and he was Kalenjin. For 8 years, she endured complete rejection from his family, who refused even to meet her parents. Koskei was chronically unfaithful. Court records revealed that his extramarital affairs drained the family's finances and deepened the divide between them. Despite their combined UN salaries, he privately viewed his wife as a financial burden. When Rhoda Mumbi finally reached her limit, she told Koskei she intended to file for divorce. For him, this was not just the end of a marriage. It was a financial threat. A divorce meant losing access to her income and splitting their matrimonial assets. Koskei became resentful, and then, calculated, he began to plan. He approached a travel agent and booked a weekend stay at the Jacaranda Lake Elmentata Lodge in Gilgil, presenting it as a birthday celebration and a chance to repair the marriage. But he made one specific, unusual demand: the room must have a bathtub. The couple drove from Nairobi and checked into room 11. That afternoon, Koskei took happy photographs with Rhoda Mumbi and posted them on WhatsApp, crafting a public image of a loving couple on a romantic getaway. At around 8 p.m., he went to the hotel restaurant alone and ordered dinner to be delivered to the room much later, creating a window where they would not be disturbed. Inside room 11, Koskei ambushed his wife. He strangled her, applying crushing mechanical force to her neck until she stopped breathing. Forensic evidence would later show she died within minutes. He then filled the bathtub with water, lifted her lifeless body, and placed it inside, staging the scene to look like an accidental drowning. He left the room, casually told hotel staff he was going for an evening jog, and walked away. When he returned, he ran outside screaming, claiming he had just discovered his wife drowned in the bathtub. Hotel workers rushed to the room, but staff later testified to something that destroyed his story. The bathroom floor around the tub was completely bone dry. There had been no struggle, no splashing, no accident. Instead of calling police, Koskei called his brother Ken and his sister Carol, who rushed to Naivasha to help him manage the situation. Hours later, he posted a public rest in peace message on Instagram, playing the role of a grieving widower. When police questioned him, he claimed Rhoda Mumbi had been dependent on sleeping pills and must have overdosed and drowned. But 3 independent pathologists told a different story. There was 0 water in her lungs. She was already dead before she entered that bathtub. Desperate, Koskei attempted to bribe a government pathologist to falsify the autopsy report and list drowning as the cause of death. The pathologist refused and reported him. He was arrested and charged with murder. At trial, the evidence was overwhelming. The government chemist confirmed there were no drugs, sedatives, or alcohol in Rhoda Mumbi's system, eliminating the overdose defense entirely. Deep internal neck tissue damage and head injuries confirmed mechanical strangulation. The travel agent testified that Koskei had specifically requested a room with a bathtub days before the trip. Because Koskei was the only person inside the locked room with Rhoda Mumbi at the time of her death, the law required him to provide a credible explanation. He could not. On the 4th of March 2025, Justice Richard Mwango of the Naivasha High Court found Nicholas Cheruiyot Koskei guilty of premeditated murder, stating that the prosecution had proved its case beyond any reasonable doubt. The judge noted that while premeditated murder typically carries the death penalty in Kenya, he chose leniency for one reason. Koskei and Rhoda Mumbi's 2 young sons had already lost their mother. Sentencing their father to death would orphan them completely. Nicholas Cheruiyot Koskei was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Rhoda Mumbi Mutua was 34 years old.